What is going on, chat? Welcome back to the stream. Hope you guys all had a fantastic day since I last saw you guys. Let's get back to it. So, little bit of a recap. Yesterday, I hopped in a buy on AUD JPY. No, sorry, it wasn't AUD JPY. It was Euro JPY. I hopped in a buy over here. Started to pull back, made a bit of a move coming back up. Ended up closing out at break even, because it did look like it was going to pull back to me. It did end up pulling back, which did look good with the setup. So at that point, I was still open to looking for another buy, but wanted to close out and avoid the drawdown. So I closed out my position at break even, pulls back, and then it has so far continued on up, playing out the setup. So very nice so far. I can look for another entry on this setup, which I will do. I told you guys in the Telegram earlier that I would indeed look for another entry. So for me to be able to find that entry, I would want to see this pull back the way it's doing. We need to see some support found. We don't know where that's going to be found. It could be down here at this level of support or even lower. So we want to wait and see where that happens. Then I would look for the buy if it's looking clean and valid still, all right? That's Euro JPY, all right? I did end up entering a position this morning on USD CAD. And when I say this morning, I mean like, I don't know, within the last like 30 minutes to an hour, I would say. Let me break that down quickly, and I am looking for the entry. It is pulling back up a little bit right now, but the overall setup's looking good. Let me explain. So when I said on Telegram that I was going to be hopping on live shortly, and whatever I said about Euro JPY, I might have said AUD JPY in the Telegram, but keep mixing them up. It was Euro JPY. I then popped back over to USD CAD because I have been liking USD CAD quite a lot. I mean, we've caught some nice opportunities coming down over here for the sells. Tons of beautiful sells coming down. It did continue on farther down. I didn't really trade it in this period. And since then, it's pulled back up. We have some strong resistance up in this area. So I'm looking to see it bounce down from there, give me a nice move coming down to my target at this level. So that's the trade idea here. And yeah, let me go ahead and mark it up. We'll see what happens with it. It's pulling back up a little bit right now. It's still clean and valid. We don't know for sure that it's going to be ready to make this move yet. So let's see. If it pulls back, it could take a little bit more time. But we do have a nice resistance up in this zone here. So I'm happy to let this run and see if it'll bounce and come down. And if we do see it begin to make that move, I think we will see a pretty strong position here. All right. So that's the plan. Last 15 minutes, it is kind of popping back up, which a little unfortunate actually, just because it's not going to end up giving us the best closure. 4-hour candle as well. 4 hours not going to close too bad. I'm not upset with a closure like this, but all the time frames like 5 minutes ago were looking much better. So we'll see. It might not close as pretty, but that's totally cool. We'll see how it develops. Let me go ahead and mark this up, all right? And I am going to be looking for another entry, assuming it remains clean, right? So obviously, if this doesn't go and it pulls back, then I'm not going to throw another entry down. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. Chat, if you guys have any questions or anything about this pair, this trade, or anything, let me know. I'm going to mark this up for you guys quickly first. And let's see. Give me a second, chat, while I mark this up. Entries at 8636. Profit levels at 37316. And stop is at 38972. I think I did adjust my stop loss a bit on this one. It wasn't as high. I pulled it up a little bit. But if I catch another entry with you guys, it will, I mean, it depends on when I catch that entry, actually. If I catch it up here in some drawdown for my, oh, one sec, I typed this in wrong. Entry is, what is my entry? 8715. Okay, my bad. Okay, so as I was saying, we're in a bit of drawdown. This pullback is looking totally clean. Like, I'm totally happy holding this position. If I didn't like it, I would just get out. We just got a 4-hour closure, actually, and the other time frames closed as well. So that's how it ended up looking, just like that. not bad. Could have been a lot worse, right? It pushed up and it came back down. We got a solid closure. So far, still respecting some resistance, right? It's not, I'm not talking about resistance like right down here, but more of a stronger zone up in this area right here. So this is what I'm looking to see a bounce off of coming down. All right. So off rip, we see a bit of a top wick and it's starting to push down. I mean, I'm not going to, you know, it just closed and just opened here. So we'll see what happens. It could just create a wick and then come back up a little bit. I'm okay if it takes a bit of time and, you know, ranges a bit. It is a solid setup. So I'm happy to let it run. Patience is definitely key, and I don't expect moves instantaneous, right? I'm not in control of that. So all I can do is really find some opportunities and take advantage when I like them and when I have the chance. So this is the initial sell, up in a little bit of drawdown, pulled back, made a move coming down, and then it ended up pulling back up for a closure. So that's not too bad. And then I'll look for another entry. Let me finish marking this up because I keep getting sidetracked talking. All right, here's my entry. It's actually adjusted, so adjusted stop loss. 1.38972. All right, so this is marked up. This is a solid risk reward. I mean, like I said, I originally had my stop loss a little bit lower. It was probably around here, maybe around here. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but we were looking at like a 1 to 6, 1 to 7 plus risk to reward. Now with the adjusted level, you know, it's still pretty solid. So let's see. Let's give it a chance to pull back. I'll look for another entry. Ideally in drawdown, I mean, if I get the opportunity, but I wouldn't force that. But if I can catch a better opportunity, then I'll try to. All right. Have a look at EU long. I will definitely take a quick look. I want to keep my eyes on this a little bit, but I'll just leave this open to do that. All right. Okay, so we see it's been trending on down for a minute here. Support down here. Wouldn't really be touching a sell right now. We'd need to see some support broken. So that's really not an option for me at the moment. I wouldn't be looking for a buy here personally yet either. I'd probably want to see a bit of a breakout coming up first. I don't know. It's not really looking amazing to me, right? We do have strong, I guess, support and resistance up in this area, this kind of zone here. We do have a bit of a breakout. I'd probably more so wait for either sells a little bit lower, like a break down here or something, or I mean, if it pulls back up and maybe hits some resistance here, maybe a sell from there. Otherwise, I could look for some sort of breakout above there or another kind of buy a bit later if it maybe gives me some sort of like break and retest. That's pretty much it. There's not much I love here. Nothing I'd be personally interested in trading this week, I would say, like until at least next week. All right, back over to USD CAD. All right. So One sec. So this is what we're dealing with so far. It's looking good. You can't really get a gauge of the whole setup when I'm just kind of showing guys like this, but really the idea is with some resistance up here, I'm looking to see that reject and flip back down. It's been trending higher time frames down for a minute, and after seeing a nice pullback like this coming up towards some strong resistance, I feel like we can catch a nice sell off of that. So that's the play here for me. And then right, I hop in over here. It's looking pretty good. And then, of course, right after I hop in, it then kind of surges back up a little bit. Still holding it, still liking the setup at that point, and then comes back down, looking good. Now we're kind of pulling back up a little bit. It's not ready to quite yet make a move, but let's see. All right, it could pull back further. Just going to be patient with it. I'm liking the setup, so no matter what, you know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and I'm cool with it. I wouldn't be looking for a buy here either way. So really it'd be a sell or nothing for me. And it actually does, you know, appear to be a pretty good selling opportunity. Now, if I'm not in a trade yet, I'm not hopping in at this very moment. I'm still watching the setup and waiting for an optimal entry opportunity, which isn't yet, right? Now, in hindsight, my entry wasn't the best opportunity for an entry, but when I'm watching that play out in the moment, it's, you know, not a bad entry opportunity potentially, right? Whereas now, like, I can say confidently with what I'm seeing in this moment, I wouldn't want to hop in an initial trade or a second trade just yet, right? Over here, it looks like it's ready to kind of break out, and then it doesn't, but it looks like it is, so at least I have a reason to be wanting to enter there and waiting for this point. Whereas when it's kind of, it pulls back and now it's, you know, moving a little bit choppy, looks like it could pull back further potentially. It's not when I'd be wanting to throw down an entry, right? We want to see if it'll, I mean, if it's going to pull back, I want to be patient for that. And, you know, maybe I can catch a better entry a bit higher after, you know, we see that rejection and it looks like it's going to come down. All right. Now, yeah, it's just going to require a bit of patience. That's it. I can also look for another entry if it does make a move into profit a little bit later, but that'll depend on how things shape up and play out. All right. Chat, if you guys are liking the setup, though, drop a like. I appreciate it. If you guys are pumped for a great year of streaming here, live trades every single week, drop a like. I appreciate it. Not much action for me this week. Like, I wasn't streaming too much and I wasn't trading too much. We got back into it here at the end of the week. I just hadn't been in the markets or kind of just around the first couple days since I've been back. So now that, you know, as of yesterday, I'm kind of back in the swing of things here. Next week will be a full week and so on and so forth. All right. No real plans of going away for any significant period of time, at least anytime soon. So yeah, going to be streaming a lot. Lots of stuff coming. That'll be great. Pulling back here. Let me mark this up, chat. I do want to possibly find another entry and we'll see if we can catch it in some drawdown if it makes sense. Not on the pullback here, but afterwards, right? Hold on. Sorry, chat, one sec. All right, chat. Sorry about that. I forgot what I was even saying. Okay, anyways. So what I'm marking up here is that I'm looking for another entry after a pullback here, which is kind of what we're seeing. I might not catch it after this pullback. It depends on how it plays out. If it's just a minor pullback like this, I'm not going to be, trying to force that for the slightly better entry. I'd rather wait for a better confirmation, if we can get a more significant pullback. Not that I want to see a higher pullback here, chat, but it would give me better confirmation if we do see it kind of at least even create a wick coming up even higher and then starting to flip back down. So I don't know why it keeps popping this up. Maximum chart layout count reached. I've got one chart open. All right. You're in at 1.38715 or waiting for an entry. Both. I'm in at this level. I've got my first entry here, and I'm looking to add another entry if the setup remains valid and gives me a better entry opportunity. I'm not going to force it, but if I can get that opportunity, I'll look for it and I'll try and take advantage. All right, the overall setup here is looking great. It is just pulling back a little bit, right? Timing is something it's tricky, right? You're not going to be perfect with that every time. So, looks good 1 second, might pull back a little bit more and take a bit more time, and that could be what we're dealing with here. So I just got to ride it out, but the overall setup is looking perfectly clean. Now I just got to wait on this, and we'll see if I can catch that higher entry here, all right? The risk reward's already good on the first initial entry, so, I'm not like chasing a better risk to reward necessarily. I do want to just catch another entry when it is the right optimal time. So we'll see how this goes. All right. It is 9:13 right now. So fresh hour candle, fresh 4-hour candle. We did get a bit of a bottom wick and now it is pushing up. But like I said, it's fresh candles here. This could easily just create a top wick and then make its way down, or maybe not a top wick and close coming up. But either way, lots of time here and setup's looking great. So let's be patient with it, chat, and see what happens. All right. I knew that would happen, chat. All right, I gotta remark up the trade here. I had to refresh it and it totally just deleted that. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, let me do this again. All right. So yeah, it's pulling back here, chat, but it keeps it's creeping up and coming back down. It's so far holding up the way I want it to be, and we just got to continue to let it ride and do what it's going to do. Take its time, but it is looking clean here. Looking good, chat. What do you guys think? Is anybody else in any setups today, chat? Anyone else? Euro JPY. I don't want to pull it up just yet because I kind of want to keep an eye on this just in case it were to go, pull back on me. I want to just see what's going on. But Euro JPY, I hopped in a buy yesterday. Closed out at break even because it looked like it was going to maybe pull back. It did pull back, which is when I would have looked for another entry. Didn't end up catching the entry. I just wasn't looking to enter a new position going into the, into nighttime, like when I'm sleeping. So I stayed out and it's making that move. It came up. I would have been in profit if my position was running. It's looking pretty good and it's pulling back right now. And I'm pretty much waiting for some support to be rejected at, I guess, so we can see maybe another buying opportunity. That's my Euro JPY summary without having to be on the chart. Patience here, chat. Looking all right. All right, chat, time to be patient. I'm going to be back with some updates shortly. Just time to let this run and see what we can do here. All right, I don't want to be too eager waiting for anything to happen here. We're just going to let it play out, give us some nice closure, hopefully, and we'll go from there, all right? I'll see you guys very soon.